guys. Good morning. You're doing good. So we have 10 participants, 9 participants. You can just wait for maybe 2 more minutes. Let your friends join. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. So guys, the other chemistry faculty has he completed the first chapter, that is haloalkane and haloarene. Is it over?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Are you there? Is it still going on or is it completed?
It's completed, sir.
Oh, nice. So SN1, SN2, all these reactions, Woods reaction, Fittig reaction, Gattermann reaction, Sand-Meyer's reaction, all these things you have seen. Wait for 1 more minute. Okay, let's start. We have enough participants. Okay, so 12, we can just see what we saw last class and then we'll continue. Right. Okay, right. So we spoke about this oxidation and reduction potential, how is it related to delta G and when it will become negative, when it will become positive, all these things you hope you remember, people, right? If it is an oxidation reaction, right, that E naught value will, like if it is a spontaneous oxidation reaction, very important, it's not just oxidation. If it is a spontaneous oxidation reaction, the reduction potential will be negative. Or I can tell that the oxidation potential will be positive. Only then, according to this equation, delta G will be less than 0. Right? Okay. Now, if it is a spontaneous reduction reaction, then the reduction potential value will be positive, or say the oxidation potential will be negative. Therefore, if I have oxidation reduction potential to be positive, again you see that the reduction, the delta G of this reaction will be negative. That means spontaneous. Right? That we saw. That's exactly what is explained here. Right? Non-spontaneous, obviously, like this zinc accepting 2 electrons to form zinc is a non-spontaneous reaction. Right? For this, delta G will be greater than 0. That's why we use reduction potential. Reduction potential will be less than 0. Right? But if I write the opposite reaction, zinc giving Zn2 plus 2 electron, that will be spontaneous. At that time, oxidation potential will be positive. Anyways, but I told you, you do not have to worry about oxidation potential. Now it's only about reduction potential, right? And then I guess, right, we calculated, okay, how do we calculate E naught cell? I told you how to calculate E naught cell. What is the representation? We always write only cathode minus anode. And in cathode, like whenever you write the E naught, we always write reduction potential only. That means copper 2 plus becoming copper, Zn2 plus becoming Zn. That is reduction reaction, right? Fine. And then, right, and then I told you, how will you check whether the overall cell reaction is spontaneous or not? You calculate the overall EMF, that is E naught cell you calculate, and that E naught cell, if it is greater than 0, right, then I can tell that the overall cell, overall Gibbs free energy of the cell will be less than 0. That means the overall cell reaction is going to be spontaneous. That we can say, right? Okay. And then I told you standard conditions. What are these E naught? When I write E naught, basically I'm talking about all the concentration should be 1 m and the temperature should be 25 degrees Celsius and it should be 1 atm pressure. right? And then we wanted to derive the relationship between this non-standard EMF and the standard EMF. And for that, we went for Nernst equation. Hope you all remember, like the Nernst equation that derived from this, right? Delta G, that is the non-standard Gibbs free energy will be equal to standard Gibbs free energy plus RT ln QC. Hope you all remember QC is nothing but the reaction quotient, which will be very similar. If I have a reaction like this, A plus B giving C plus D, it is going to be concentration of products divided by concentration of reactant. Right now, the difference between QC and KC is that you can use any concentration here, at like the starting concentration, middle concentration, last concentration, whatever you can use. But a KC, you have to use only equilibrium concentrations. All these are at equilibrium. Right? Okay. Now, I'm going to use delta G as NFE, non-standard, delta G naught as minus NFE naught, and the other thing stays minus RT ln QC. Right? So what I did, I divided the entire equation by minus NF. So it becomes E is equal to E naught minus RT by NF ln of QC. This is what is my Nernst equation. Right? Okay. Now this is my Nernst equation. Right? Now I can write properly. If I write, it will be E cell. It will be equal to E naught cell minus RT by NF ln of QC. And E naught cell you can calculate. Right? E naught cell directly you can calculate from the reduction potential values. Right? I told you E right minus E left, E naught cathode minus E naught anode. That you will be able to calculate. And QC will be depending on the concentration. I told you for writing QC, you have to be very careful. Right? Now, okay, before we see that, if the temperature is not given in the question, right? If temperature is not given in the question, you will assume the temperature to be 25 degrees Celsius, right? So if you assume the temperature to be 25 degrees Celsius, okay, and before that, what is this F? F is nothing but 1 Faraday, right? 1 Faraday is nothing but charge of 1 mole of electron. And the value is approximately 96,500 Coulomb per mole. I can write it here if you want. It is Coulomb per mole will be the unit. Right? Anyways, so if the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, that is 298 Kelvin, R value I know is 8.314, F value I know is 97,500. If you substitute all these values, you are going to get this equation. Right? E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 by N log of QC. Right? Again, E naught is calculated. I told you. Right? And then I told you for QC, guys, you have to be very careful. How do you calculate QC and also the N value? Right? Now, we took some examples for us to understand how this works. Say, if I have zinc and Ag, first you have to understand which you have to use as cathode, which you have to use as anode. That we already discussed. And the cell representation also we discussed. Right? Now, in the anode, oxidation will happen. Zinc will form Zn2 plus 2 electron. A cathode reduction will happen. Ag plus will accept 1 electron to form Ag. Now, what I told you, when you write the overall equation, right? When you write the overall equation, there should not be any electron there in the reaction. In this reaction, there should not be any electron. So what you have to do, you have to suitably multiply by some factor. Say in this case, I multiply the Ag reaction by 2. So the 2 electrons are lost, 2 electrons are gained, right? So the overall, whatever you cancel, the 2 and 2 gets cancelled. That would be the N value. It's mentioned here. The N value here is 2. Right? Then you get the overall equation. From the overall equation, you write the QC. And you see, you wrote zinc 2 plus into Ag squared, because the stoichiometric coefficient has to go to the power, divided by zinc into concentration of Ag plus squared. Right? Now I told you there's a mistake here. The mistake is that you should not be including solids and liquids. Zinc is a solid, Ag is a solid, so we will not include them. So basically QC is nothing but Zn2 plus divided by Ag plus squared. Right? Now same thing only we did for Cr3, chromium and copper. Now in that case, the N value became to be 6 because you multiplied this by 2 and this by 3, total 6 and 6 gets getting cancelled. And again, QC will be as such, like whatever the overall equation you're going to get. If you get the overall equation, product is Cr3 plus, so squared will become, and in the reactant I have Cu2 plus, and the stoichiometric coefficient is 3, so you'll put a Q here, right? Fine. And then again, we saw one particular thing is when you have She, right? When you write QC, you have one side gas, the other side is an ion. Right? So always, whenever there is a gas, you don't talk about concentration. All you speak about is the partial pressure if it's a gas. So you see for this reaction, it would be partial pressure of H2 divided by H plus square, obviously because there is a what is that, 2 as a stoichiometric coefficient, right? And then we did some problems. That's what we did. All the things we did some problems. Okay, fine. We'll continue for today. Any questions, guys, from previous class? Any doubts? Any queries? Anything you have? Okay, suppose there are no questions, right? Maybe we'll just do one problem for today with Nernst equation, and then actually we will continue with the other stuff. A very similar problem, people, right? So we just for you to have a recap, nothing else. Okay, let me make a new page. So if you're wondering about what is this, right? This is just my project proposal for my PhD. Nothing like we like inside the, I don't know how many of your biologists, like any of you have taken biology, guys, here? Or everybody is from computer science? Is there anyone? Biology? Okay, no one is from biology. Okay, even though you don't know, I am from biology, we know that I'm going to have cells inside the body, and the cells will have DNA and RNA, right? So this is basically a method by which you will be, like, obviously, even if you see under a microscope, right, you will not be able to, detect this RNA and DNA inside the cell. You'll be able to see the cells, but you will not be able to see the RNA and DNA that is inside the cell, even if you use a microscope, right? So this is a method by which I'll be able to see it, right? The RNA, you can see this miRNA 263A RNA is there inside the cell. This is the target RNA, and I'll be able to, visualize it. Anyways, so we don't have to go into the details. Cool. Something in the chat. What happened? Someone is from bio. Okay, you are a bio student. Okay, nice. Okay. Fine. Let's start. Yeah, please take down the question, people. Okay, actually, I'm going to give you the question like this. So, I have the cell representation going like this. AL becomes AL3 plus 0.001 M double bar Ni2 plus, or wait, I will not write anything like this. Okay, fine. So they are given like this. Okay, E naught Ni2 plus bar Ni is minus 0.25 volts, and E naught AL3 plus bar AL is minus 1.66 volts. Okay, and they are telling the AL3 plus concentration is 0.001 M, and the concentration of Ni2 plus is 0.5 M. Okay, now first what you have to decide is which is going to act as cathode and which is going to act as anode, right? And then obviously I want you to find what is the E cell of this reaction. That's all I need you to find. Okay, now first question, how will you decide? Now you look, okay, if you know the reactivity, right? If I know, say, nickel is more reactive or aluminum is more reactive, then correspondingly I can put it in the cathode or anode, right? But if we don't know that, right, and if they have given you the E naught values, from the E naught values, can you decide which will be cathode and which will be anode? Is there any idea, guys? Can you come up with looking at the E naught values of individual metals, can we decide which should be acting as cathode and which should be acting as anode? Any idea?
So aluminum cathode, sir.
Aluminum is cathode. Okay. Why?
So because nickel is more electronegative than aluminum, but electromotive force is given minus 1.
No. That we cannot tell, Kana. Basically, nickel and aluminum, we don't know the reactivity. Assume that we don't know which is more reactive. You have to talk only with respect to the values of the potential.
The concentration is also low, sir.
No, based on concentration, we don't have to talk. The concentration doesn't matter for which mean. Depending on that, I don't keep which is anode, which is cathode. It is solely based on this values. How will you decide?
So nickel should be the cathode, sir. It is more
Nickel should be the cathode. Why?
more electronegative than aluminum.
How are you telling it's more electronegative?
By the values of 0.25 and 0.
Okay. I understand what you're trying to say. Fine. Guys, see, look at this. I have minus 0.25 and minus 1.16. Basically, if I have negative value, that means what? Both aluminum and nickel have natural tendency to undergo? Natural tendency to undergo what? If I have negative values, that means these two metals have natural tendency to undergo oxidation or reduction?
Oxidation.
Absolutely. Right. Whenever you see these are reduction potential values, right? And if I find that there is a negative sign in the reduction potential values, I can tell that these two are naturally undergoing oxidation. Right. But now, obviously, both of them cannot undergo oxidation. Only one of them will undergo oxidation. Right. Now, can I tell that if I have more and more negative value, right? If I have that, or say magnitude of the negative value, right? It is minus 1.66 and this would be minus 0.25. This is more and more negative. That means what? Can I say this will have more and more tendency to undergo oxidation than this? Can I tell that, guys? Because this is more negative. Say this is the reduction potential. If I write the oxidation potential, it will be plus 1.66 and this will be plus 0.25. I'm talking about oxidation potential, right? Obviously, more and more is the oxidation potential, more and more is the tendency to undergo oxidation. Or if I forget about this, if I talk in terms of reduction potential, more and more is the negative value of the reduction potential. Obviously, that element will find it more and more difficult to undergo reduction, but will find it more and more easy to undergo oxidation. Correct? So more and more negative value means more and more tendency to undergo oxidation. Less negative value means less tendency to undergo oxidation. That's very simple as that. Actually, we will solve questions based on this also. Maybe after this, I'll teach you that how to do it. Okay. So for this question, you have to understand that aluminum is going to act as anode. Why? Because it is having a negative value of reduction potential. This is also having a negative value, but this is more and more negative. That means more and more tendency to undergo oxidation. Right? So aluminum will be anode and this would be cathode.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, we can also say with respect to oxidation number, no sir. Al has 3 as oxidation, nickel has 2. More the oxidation number, it undergoes oxidation.
No, Kana, we cannot speak like that. There are certain cases, for example, right? For example, I form Na plus and say I form Cu2 plus. Which has forget about the charges. Okay, so now tell me, forget about this too also. Now sodium and copper are there. Which has more tendency to undergo oxidation?
Sodium.
So we cannot tell because this forms Na plus, this forms Cu2 plus. Now from your idea, what you're telling is more oxidation number, more tendency to undergo oxidation. That will not work because in this case, this is only +1. This is +2. So according to your thesis or according to your hypothesis, Cu2 plus should have more oxidation, like tendency to undergo, but that's not true, right? Okay. So you have to speak only in terms of the reduction potential values.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right, fine. Yeah, now you can go on, guys. Now you can solve the question, right? You know which is going to act as a cathode, which is going to act as cathode. First, write the cell representation, right? And then the concentrations are given to you. The E naught values are given to you. Find E naught cell, find the E cell. Go for it. Tell me the answer. Go for it. I'll give you 5 minutes time. So first find the E naught cell, write the anode half reaction, cathode half reaction, overall reaction, then find the N value, QC value, everything you find, then you go for the constitution. Then only you'll get all the answers correct. Go step by step.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please sir.
Could you tell the molarity values? for the-
Polarity values are here. Al3 plus is this much, Ni2 plus is this much.
Okay, sir.
One more minute, people.
Sir?
Yeah.
Log of A by B formula is log A minus log B, sir.
Correct, correct. Log of A by B is log A minus log B. Yes, absolutely. I think most of you, maybe even though you wouldn't have got the end answer, but I think you should have done the steps very correctly, right? Please check whether you have done the steps correctly. I'm going to write it now. Okay, fine. First, the cell representation, let me write. We have decided that, we have understood that aluminum is going to act as anode and nickel is going to act as cathode, right? So the cell representation will go like this. We'll always start with anode. So an anode oxidation will happen. Al bar Al3 plus, the concentration is given to us 0.001 m double bar, that is salt bridge, and reduction will happen at the cathode. So Ni2 plus bar Ni, and here I have to write the concentration. I think 0. Is it 0.5 or 0.05? Okay, no issues. We'll give it a 0.5. No problem. Numbers doesn't matter. Okay, 0.5 m. Right. So this is the cell representation, people. Right. Now let me write the half cell reactions. Say I start with the anode. Right. So anode, aluminum is forming aluminium 3 plus by accepting 2 electrons, and at cathode, right, you have nickel 2 plus accepting 2 electrons to form nickel. Now in the overall equation, before you write the overall equation, you have to make sure that the number of electrons lost and number of electrons gained are equal. So I'll multiply this by 2. I'll multiply this by 3, so that 6 and 6 get cancelled. Right now you can write the overall reaction. So that would be 2 Al plus 3 Ni 2 plus will give 2 Al 3 plus 3 Ni. Done. That would be the overall equation, and I can easily tell that the end value is going to be 6, because 6 and 6 is only getting cancelled, right? End value is 6. Okay, now I can directly write the QC. QC would be basically concentration of Al3 plus the whole squared. Okay, guys, if you don't forget to put the square, the entire answer is wrong. Divided by Ni2 plus concentration the whole cube. This is what is there. So basically, concentration of Al3 plus is 0.001 cube divided by 0.5. Oh, sorry, squared. Sorry. This is, oops. Right, so squared divided by 0.5 the whole cube. That is my QC value. This is what is my QC. We'll keep it as such. Right, now you can go for, did we find the E0 value, guys? E0 cell, did we find out? Actually, we didn't. That we have to calculate it. Okay, we'll write it here. Right, the E0 cell would be E0 cathode minus E0 anode. And I know the anode is nickel. Right, the anode is nickel. And you're told that the reduction potential value is 0.25. So minus.
Anode is aluminum, no, sir.
Oh, sorry. Anode is aluminum, cathode is copper. Say cathode is nickel. Correct. Right. So now it should be cathode minus anode. Right. So it will be nickel's value minus the aluminum's value. Right. So minus 0.25 minus of how much? 1.66. Right. So it will basically be 1.66 minus 0.25 will be 1.41. Right. 1.41 volts will be the E0 cell value, and that's it. We need everything we need. We have everything we need for the Nernst equation. We have the E0 cell, we have the N value, and we have the QC value also with us. That's it. Now, if you write, for the sake of this thing, I will write the Nernst equation also. E0 cell. Again, temperature is not given, so we'll use 25 degrees Celsius. So it will become 0.059 divided by N into log of QC. This is what we have, right? So E0 cell just now we calculated 1.41 minus 0.059. The N value found out to be 6 log of this one. That is 0.001 squared divided by 0.5 the whole cube. Okay, so guys, we'll not spend time on the calculations. I will directly tell you the answer if required. Let me tell you the answer 1 second. This is the long answer type. Again. Okay. this question number is so you will be getting the answer as 1.46 volts. Okay, this would be the answer you will be getting. Right? Okay. Now, guys, tell me whether this cell reaction is spontaneous or not. Will this cell work or not? Yes or no?
It is spontaneous, sir.
Okay. How did you tell?
E naught value is greater than 1, so delta G will be less than 0. Like
It's
E
not
naught value
greater
is
than
greater
1,
than 0.
it is greater than 0. Greater than 0. Right? So whenever the E cell value is greater than 0, that means the cell reaction is spontaneous. Guys, this kind of question also they will ask. They will ask you to find the E naught value, E cell value, right? And they'll ask you to tell me whether tell them whether the reaction is spontaneous or not. If you find the E cell value is greater than 0, right, then you can tell that the reaction is spontaneous because delta G, you can even mention this, delta G is equal to minus M of E. Now this will be less than 0. Like that you can explain. Yes, good, good. Okay, so I think everybody will be very well versed with the Nernst equation. No issues at all, right? Whatever problems given, you can easily, definitely one question will come, people. You can blindly trust me. In your board exam, at least one question will be from Nernst equation, for sure. Okay, fine. So that is about Nernst equation and its problems. Okay, now we'll spend some time on this electrochemical series. Okay, we already know what is electrochemical series, but we can actually predict so many things with this. Okay, fine. Now, guys, if right now, say some element, I have two elements X and Y. Okay, I have two elements X and Y. Right, the E naught value, right? Say I tell you that it is some something like some random value, say 1 volt, and this is say minus 1 volt. Okay, now I have given you these two elements, and I've told you that the reduction potential, these are E naught reduction potential values, are 1 volt and minus 1 volt for X and Y. Okay, now guys, you will be able to predict so many things here. Okay, now think about it and tell me which will undergo spontaneous reduction, X or Y? Which will undergo spontaneous reduction? That's difficult. Yes.
X.
X. Obviously, right? You see that the reduction potential value is positive. Obviously, X has natural tendency to undergo reduction, right? And obviously, this opposite question would be which will not undergo reduction. Obviously, because this is having minus value, that is negative value of reduction potential. But this will have what? This will have natural tendency to undergo oxidation, right? So, guys, I'm going to give you some points. Okay. Now, depending on the E naught value, reduction potential value, you will be able to predict so many things. First thing is more positive E naught means more tendency to undergo reduction, right? More and more positive value, right? Say if I give you like this, right? I have X and Y. One is having 1 volt, the other one is having 2 volt. Which will undergo reduction now? If I keep it as anode and cathode?
Y.
Why? Obviously, I told you more and more positive value, more and more tendency to undergo reduction, right? In this case, Y will undergo reduction, and if at all you're going to use both of them, X will undergo oxidation. Anyways, don't worry about it. Okay, so more positive value means more and more tendency to undergo reduction. And if I can tell you one more thing, people, if I talk in terms of, guys, 1 second, there's some background noise. Let them pass and then speak. Better. Right. So if I talk in terms of oxidizing agent or reducing agent. Right? Now, what can you tell about these people? What are oxidizing and reducing agents?
Oxidizing agent undergoes reduction.
Okay, fine. Basically, an agent is someone who helps in get us something done, right? So an oxidizing agent will help us in oxidation. And the next question is how it how it helps in how it helps in oxidation is because the oxidizing agent will undergo reduction, right? This we have seen from your 11th class. It's a redox reaction. Same way, a reducing agent will undergo oxidation, right? This we already know. Okay, now if I have more and more positive value of E naught, I told you that that particular element has more and more tendency to undergo reduction, right? That means it has more and more oxidizing power. What do you mean by oxidizing power? Ability of this to be an oxidizing agent. Hope you understand, right? Oxidizing power means power of this oxidizing agent to make something else undergo oxidation. Correct? Right? So this has tendency to undergo reduction, obviously. So that means what? When I have more and more value of positive, more and more positive value of E naught, more and more will be the oxidizing power. Or I would say more and more is the ability of the element to act as an oxidizing agent. Okay? Right? Fine. Now this you have to keep in mind. This is nothing. You don't have to mug it up. Nothing. We already know that positive value. I can speak in terms of delta G. That means that reduction reaction will become more and more negative. That is delta G will become more and more negative, more and more spontaneous. And obviously we know if it undergoes oxidation, and that particular thing is going to be an oxidizing agent. Right? Okay. Now this you keep in mind. Now next thing is we are obviously speaking in terms of negative values. Right? Say I have more negative value of E naught, that is reduction potential. Obviously, it's exactly going to be opposite. More tendency to undergo oxidation now, guys, because there is negative value of E naught. And obviously, if this undergoes oxidation, more and more will be the reducing power. Okay. Now, these 2 points you have to understand. These 2 points you have to remember. Don't mug it up. Please understand this. Very simple. Okay, nothing. We didn't do anything extra. Right now, questions can come from this also. Let me solve a question for you. Right, let me give you a question. Let me see if you can answer this. Okay, is there any question you want to ask regarding these 2 points, people? Any questions you have? Why is it like this? Why not like that? Anything you have? Okay, I suppose everything is clear. Right? If not, please ask me. Okay, let me give you a question. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Now look at this. Right. Say they have given E naught K plus bar K is minus 2.93 volts. E naught AG plus bar AG as 0.80 volts. E naught Hg2 plus, that is mercury, is 0.79 volts, and Mg2 plus, E naught Mg2 plus bar Mg is minus 2.37 volts, and at last we have E naught Cr3 plus bar Cr as minus 0.74 volts. Okay. Now what you have to do is arrange the elements, arrange metals with respect to their reducing power. This is what you're going to do, right? Arrange these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 elements in the order of their reducing power. Okay. So guys, reducing power means that element has to undergo
Oxidation.
oxidation. Correct, right? If we talk about reducing power, that means that element has to undergo oxidation. Keep this in mind. Okay, more and more spontaneous oxidation.
All these are oxidation potentials, right?
Kanna, what is this? What
All these are oxidation potentials, right?
No. These are now. See, whenever I tell no, there will never ever give you oxidation potential. They'll give you only reduction potential. Okay, now you can easily see, right? It's K plus 2K, Ag plus 2Ag. All these are reduction potentials only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now in the question, now this whatever we saw that more and more say more positive E naught, more negative E naught. This E naught we're talking about are only reduction potentials. Don't confuse yourself. Oxidation potential is not there for you. Never it is there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Done, sir.
Okay. Right. I think this shouldn't be taking so much time, guys. So we're talking about reducing power. That means that element should have natural tendency to undergo oxidation. Very simple, right? Now, how will I have more tendency to undergo oxidation? Obviously, I should have more and more negative value, right? If I have more and more negative value of E naught, that means that element can undergo oxidation more easily. And if it undergoes oxidation more easily, it will have more reducing power. As simple as that, right? So now, if I give the ranks, the first most reducing power goes to the most negative value. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and after that you have positive values. Now you have to go for lesser positive value. So I would say this is 4 and this is 5. How many of you got this right?
Got it, sir.
Okay, good. Maybe we'll solve one more. Guys, everybody understood what are we doing here? So the same thing only, right? More and more positive value, more tendency to undergo oxidation and more reducing power. So first we did all the negative values. The most negative value is for potassium. The second negative value is for magnesium and then chromium. So I gave 1 ranks 1, 2, 3. Now you don't have any more negative value. You have positive values, right? So then you have to go for lesser positive value in case of oxidation. That is reducing power, right? This is 0.79. This is 0.80. So fourth rank goes to this. Fifth rank goes to this. Okay, right. I'll give you one more question. Wait, so that you will become better at this. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll bring another textbook that will have more problems based on this. Just give me a moment. Okay, right. So I will take a question. say I have E naught, Ag plus bar Ag is 0.8 volts, E naught, Hg. Hg2 plus bar Hg is 0.79 volts, E naught, Cu2 plus bar Cu is 0.34 volts plus 0.34, and I have E naught Mg2 plus bar Mg is minus 2.37 volts. Right now, the question is tendency, arrange them in the order of tendency to undergo reduction. Right? Arrange all these elements in the order of tendency to undergo reduction. Or I would even ask the question tendency to undergo reduction, or I would have asked you to arrange them in the order of oxidizing power. Same thing will this thing only will come. Yeah, any questions? Something someone is asking? Yeah, what is it, Kana?
Completed, sir.
Oh, okay, completed. Good. Nice. Right. Again, these kind of questions is not going to take much time, people. Right. So we are talking about tendency to undergo oxidation. So how should be the value of reduction potential generally? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
Positive. Right. More and more positive we can see here. More and more positive value of E naught, more and more tendency to undergo reduction. Right. Fine. Now if at all this question is going undergo reduction, so I have to choose the maximum positive value. That is, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and obviously this is negative value. Obviously that is going to be 4. Now, whatever the order they have given, that is the order of tendency to undergo reduction or oxidation. Okay, so like these kind of questions can easily come in 1 or 2 marks for you. Okay, so this is all based on electrochemical series. Based on the reduction potential value, first thing is you will be able to choose which can be anode, which can be cathode, and basically based on which can undergo reduction, which can undergo oxidation. More tendency to undergo oxidation, which has more tendency to undergo reduction. Based on that, all these things can be calculated. All these things can be decided. Okay, right, fine. Now guys, like the same kind of question can be asked like this also. If I ask you, right, say, okay, can magnesium reduce copper? What will be your answer? Can magnesium reduce copper? The answer is yes or no. What is it, Gana? Yes?
Yes, sir, it can.
Okay, why?
Copper has more tendency to undergo reduction.
Okay.
So it will get reduced.
Okay, right. So you can speak with, obviously we can speak in terms, obviously I know magnesium is more reactive than copper, so obviously this will happen. But if at all they just give you X and Y, and then they gave the X and Y's reduction potential value, and then they'll ask you this question. Right. Now, how you have to answer this? Now, you see, copper has a positive value of reduction potential that will undergo reduction easily. Right. Now, what do you mean by magnesium? Can magnesium reduce copper means what? Magnesium is going to act as a reducing agent. Right. Magnesium is going to act as a reducing agent, reducing copper. Correct. So obviously, if it's a reducing agent, it should undergo oxidation, and if it has to undergo oxidation, I should have more and more negative value of E naught, and both of them are satisfying. But if I asked you the opposite question, can copper reduce magnesium? The answer would have been no, like not with respect to the reactivity, but with respect to this E naught values. Like these kind of questions can also be asked. Very simple questions.
Sir?
Yeah.
So for magnesium to reduce copper, it has to go undergo oxidizing, no, sir?
Correct. Magnesium has to undergo oxidation. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Magnesium has to undergo oxidation. That's why it's a reducing agent. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Fine. So I think this kind of questions will be able to answer now. Right. Now, any other thing I missed is what I'm thinking about in this particular. Nonce equation. This we solved. Everything is okay. Oh yeah, we have this kind of problems can come. Right. Okay. What is the time? Okay. Cool. Okay. Actually, we are going to connect this electrochemistry with thermodynamics. Basically, the delta G and E naught, we have an equation, right? So based on that, the problems can come, but not exactly how you think it is. Let me give you a problem, then you'll understand what kind of questions can come. Okay, no, not this one. Not this one. Okay, so this kind of questions can be asked people. They'll give you like this. Okay, they'll tell that E naught of Fe2 plus bar Fe is minus 0.439 volts, and I have E naught Fe3 plus bar Fe is how much? Minus 0.036 volts, and the question is you have to find E naught Fe3 plus bar Fe2 plus. This you have to find. Okay, right? Now this kind of questions are very, very common. Okay, they will give you two E naught values, and then they'll ask you to find the third E naught value like this. Okay, now remember Fe2 plus Fe3 plus. These things are the species. Okay, now how will you approach these kind of questions? This question I will do. Next question you will try. Okay, right. Now this kind of questions, people, right? For all the thing you have to do is write the reactions properly. Okay, right, fine. And one more thing is, please understand. Say I have A plus B. A giving B is one reaction. Say it is having E naught, E1 naught as the reduction potential. B giving C is E2 naught. Now say I want to find A giving C. What will be the E naught value? You should not tell it as E1 naught plus E2 naught. Absolutely wrong. Please remember this. Okay. Now, just like how you add your enthalpy values or Gibbs free energy values, you cannot directly add the E naught values. You see, if you add these two reactions, I will get this reaction, right? But just because you add these two reactions and you get this reaction, you should not be adding these two directly. Please remember this. It is not a quantity like that. Okay. Then how will you be able to do it is you can convert the Z naught. You can convert the Z1 naught into delta G. I know the formula. Delta G1 will be minus N of E1 naught. And for this, it will be delta G2 will be minus N of into E2 naught. Right? Delta G2 will be into minus N of E2 naught. Now this A giving C, you can write delta G for this as delta G1 plus delta G2. This you can add, but not E1 naught and E2 naught directly. You cannot add that. Please remember this. Okay, now from this delta G, again, I will have this delta G is equal to minus N of E naught, right? N value you will know, F value you know, delta G you calculated. From this, you will calculate the E naught. Not like directly adding E1 and E2, and that is going to be E naught. No, right? You will convert the E1 naught into delta G, convert E naught into delta G, then you add these two reactions, find the delta G of the third equation. From the delta G of the third equation, again, you use this equation to find this particular value. Okay, I hope you understand. Maybe you try this question. Okay, now that I gave you the idea, like how do you do this, right? Maybe you can try, right? Again, I repeat if you want. E1 naught is there, E2 naught is there. Directly you cannot add. Convert them into delta G's, both of them, right? Then you add or subtract or whatever you do, you get the required equation. That required equation again will have some delta G based on what is delta G1 and delta G2. And from the find out value of delta G, again use the equation minus NF E naught to find the reaction, find the E naught for this reaction from this equation. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Go for it. Like just try this question. I'll give you maybe 5 minutes. Just try this question. Again, anyways, I'll also help you out. And next question, again, you will be able to solve by yourself completely. Go for it. This question you try first.
Can you explain the equation, sir? What is the last E naught equation?
What is the last E naught equation? You are talking about this one?
No, sir, the question.
Oh, question. Basically, this is a reduction potential from Fe2 plus to Fe. This is Fe3 plus to Fe. This is Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus.
Okay, sir.
Right? And yeah, one more thing also you do. Like this you can do, even though you cannot add directly people. Say for this A giving B is E1 naught. If I write B giving A, I can write minus E1 naught. This you can do. Okay, when you reverse the reaction, you can reverse the sign of the reduction potential, but you cannot add two reactions to reduction potential. That you cannot do. Okay, but when you reverse the reaction, you can reverse the value of the E1 naught or E0 what generally. That you can do. Okay, fine. Now go for it.
So I have a doubt.
Yeah.
The final one which has the question mark is Fe3 plus bar Fe2 plus.
Yeah, Fe3 plus bar Fe2 plus. Correct.
Okay.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, can we take 0.43 as 0.44?
Okay, fine. For this question, you take just for the sake of calculation, but please don't do it in the exams, Kana. Like they will cut marks for this.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So I have a doubt.
Yeah, please.
I didn't understand how we'll get n value, sir.
Oh, n value is simple, right? Say for example, you see, here I have Fe2 plus becoming Fe. How many electrons?
2 electrons.
2 electrons. So the n value for this is 2, and for this n value will be what?
3, sir.
3, and for this n value will be what?
1, sir.
1. That's it. That's it. Very simple.
We don't need like 2 equations to find the n value, sir. Like in the
No,
previous.
nothing. That will happen if I have cathode and anode, right? Here I have only one half cell. There's no requirement. Like
Okay, sir. I understood.
right. Please do not calculate the delta G value fully. You keep it as, say, for example, for this reaction, if it is 2, you just keep it as 2F into this value. Same way, this will be 3F into this value. Now, why do I tell you this? Is because now again you will find delta G, again that will be equal to NF. That F can get cancelled at the end. Every F can be cancelled. Do not calculate. Okay, do not calculate delta G fully for these two. Okay, anyways, that F will get cancelled out and the calculation will become easy at the last. So just keep it as such, whatever the multiplication you have. If you calculate, again, you have to calculate again, there will be a lot of process.
So is it minus 0.978?
Minus 0.978. Let me check.
I took 0.44 for even.
Okay. No issues. That is fine. What it is? Minus
0.978.
Nope. Maybe I'll give you 1 more minute, people. You just try. Anyways, I'm going to do it.
So I said minus 1.078.
Minus 1.078. No. Okay, fine. So I think let me do it. Okay. So fine, guys. Let us write the equations first. Okay. Say first equation, that is Fe2 plus bar Fe. We'll write the equation Fe2 plus. I will accept 2 electrons to form Fe. Right, and the E naught, say I'll write it as E1 naught as minus 0. Right, minus 0.439 volts, and I have Fe3 plus accepting 3 electron to form Fe. Say I call it as E2 naught. E2 naught is minus 0.036 volts. Okay, right. Now the required equation, I'll write the required equation a little down. The required equation is this, right? Now the required equation is Fe3 plus will accept 1 electron to form Fe2 plus. Okay, now before you move on to calculating anything, guys, just look at where are the things. Okay, now I require Fe2 plus in the product side, right? But if you look at the given equation, where do you see Fe2 plus? Fe2 plus is here, and Fe2 plus here is in the reactant side. So what do you do? The first step for this question is reversing this. Okay, now when you reverse this and write it here, that will become Fe giving Fe2 plus 2 electron, and the E1 naught value, okay, we'll still keep it as E1 naught. E1 naught value will become 0.439 volts plus 0.4. I told you, you can reverse it and change the sign of the E naught. That you can do. Okay, now why did we do this? Because I need Fe2 plus in the product side, but in the given equation is in the reactant side. So I will reverse it and I wrote it and I changed the sign of the E naught value also from minus to plus. Okay, now next thing is I require Fe3 plus in the reactant side. See where is Fe3 plus? Fe3 plus is here. It is there in the reactant side. So no problem. Okay, so no problem. Okay, now fine. So if that's the case, now I told you that now you see, right? If I add these two equations, that is Fe3 plus 3 electron giving Fe plus Fe giving Fe2 plus 2 electron. If you add these two equations directly, you are going to get this equation. Very simple. Fe3 plus will be there. 2 electrons, 1 electron. So there will be still 1 electron in the reactant side because there is 3 electron in the reactant side, 2 electron in the product side. So overall, there will still be 1 electron in the reactant side. And Fe2 plus is here, Fe2 plus is here. Done. Right? So basically, if you add these two equations, you are set. Done, right? But I told you that you cannot directly add the E naught values, right? So what you have to do for that, you have to convert this into delta G value. Say delta G2, I call it. Delta G2 will be minus N value is 3, F value will keep as such, and the value is minus 0.036, or I can write it as 3F into 0.036 because minus and minus will become positive. That's fine. Okay, so 3F into 0.036. Okay, now this I'll call it as say delta G1. Delta G1 will be minus how many electrons? 2 electrons, right? So 2F into E naught. E naught value is now its plus value, so 0.439. Okay, done. Now for this reaction, now you can calculate the delta G, which is delta G2 plus delta G1. And how would that be? That would be, maybe if you can just do the multiplication, it will become a little easier. So 0.036 into 3, 72, 102, 108, correct? 3, 36,
Yes,
70,
108.
yeah, 108. So it will be how much?
0.108.
0.108.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it will be minus or plus only. Okay, 0.108 F. We'll just keep it as F. Okay, now plus, or this should be minus. Actually, you should add it, but since there is a negative sign, I put a negative sign. 2 into 0.4, we'll keep it as 0.44 for our calculation. So it will become 0.88 F. Done? Okay, fine. So if I do that, right, if I do this calculation, delta G would be 0.108 minus 88, I think would be 0.2. No, it won't be 108, 0.108, 0.880. So this would be 8, this would be 10, this would be 10 again, I guess, right? So this will be 228. Okay, fine. So this will be 0.228 F positive, because see, this is, oh no, absolutely wrong. 0.8 is positive, right? 0.1, this is 0.8. So absolutely, this is absolutely wrong, guys. So sorry. So this would be 0.88 minus of 0.108. So if I put a 0 here, this will become 10. This will become nothing. Okay, done. So this will be 287. So this would be 0. Minus, right? I should have a negative sign because this is more negative. Like 0.88 is negative and this is positive. So overall it is negative. So it is 0.782 F. F is still there.
772, sir.
772.
Okay, this will become 7. Absolutely, yes, 772. Yes. Right, 772 F. Done. Now you have calculated delta G for this. Now this delta G will be equal to minus N. Now the number of electron is 1. So minus 1 F into E naught. Right, now that is again equal to this value. This is delta G, that is equal to minus NF E naught, and that is the value which you calculated. So that would be minus 0.772 F. Now you can cancel these two F. 1 is again nothing. So I can write the minus minus also gets cancelled. So the E naught value is 0.772 volts. That's it. That's the answer to this question. Okay, nothing I did. It's all mathematics. I calculated delta G1, delta G2 from the E2 naught and E1 naught. And then I did delta G by multiplying these two. And before that, basically, I reversed the reaction. One of the reaction I reversed. So that the E naught value will become negative or positive depending on that. Okay, then I calculated delta G. Again, I use the delta G as minus NF E naught. Right? So the F and F will cancel. So you will see that the E naught value is plus 0.772 volts. That's the answer to this question. And the answer matches. Absolutely. Guys, everybody understood? Can I get a yes from everybody? At least in the
Yes,
chat
sir,
or
understood.
a one.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay, 2, 3,
Sir.
4. I hope everybody is okay. There's more in the chat, I guess. Right. Okay, cool. Nice. If you understood, I'm happy. Right. Okay, good. Maybe one more question. Now you will solve. You must be able to get the answer now. I see how trickily I did the calculation here. I just kept the F as such. Right. So that at last it get cancelled. So that the calculation will become very easy. Okay. You also do like this. Okay. Maybe I'll give you one question now. Let's see what I do. Okay. Okay. Now the question goes like this. Okay. So they are given two reactions like this. MnO4 minus plus 8H plus 5 electrons gives Mn2 plus 4H2O. Right, Mn2 plus 4H2O. The E naught value for this reaction is 1.51 volts. And second equation is MnO2 plus 4H plus 2 electrons gives Mn2 plus 2H2O, and the E naught value for this is 1.23 volts. Okay, maybe I'll write it a little bigger, 1.23 volts. Okay, now I need MnO4 minus plus 4H plus 3 electrons gives Mn2 plus, sorry. Not Mn2 plus, this is MnO2 plus 2H2O. I want to know what is the E naught for this reaction. Go for it. Exactly similar. Last time it was like they gave the reduction potential value, you wrote the reaction like this. They gave the reduction potential value and you wrote the reaction. Here they have made it a little more simpler. They have directly given you the equation. Right? Exactly similar question, guys. You can actually solve it and tell me the answer. Be very careful with the signs. That is where everybody will go wrong. Be very careful with the signs.
sir?
Yeah.
Is it 1.66 volts, sir?
1.66 volts. 1 second. Let me check. Yeah, approximately you're right. The answer given here is 1.7 volts. So your answer must be somewhere close.
So if I round it up, it'll be 1.7.
Yeah. If you round it up, it'll be 1.7. So maybe what you did is correct. Maybe here they have rounded off. We'll check. Your answer is correct.
Sir, I got 1.7.
Exactly 1.7 without any approximations. Yes, without any
No,
approximation.
sir. No, sir. No, sir.
No approximation. 1.7. Okay, we'll check.
I mean,
Okay.
what I said is not approximation. I just got close to it, 1.67.
Understood. Yes. Okay, fine, guys. Cool. Now, first things first, let me check wherever, like say, I need MnO4 in the reactant side. Yes, in the given equation also, MnO4 is in the reactant side. And I require MnO2 in the product side. But in the given equation, MnO2 is in the reactant side. So obviously, I have to reverse it. Right? So if I reverse it, what will happen? Okay. I have to write everything from again. Fine, okay, no problem. Right, so this would be Mn2 plus 2H2O will become MnO2 plus 4H plus, right, plus 4H plus 2 electrons. Okay, actually I'll write this 1.3 electron. This is 1.23 volts. Okay, now this, right, you have reversed it. So now this should be E naught value, E naught value is minus 1.23 volts. Okay, done. Now, if you look at this carefully, if you just add these two equations, this and this, just add it. First equation and the reversed equation, you add it. You are going to get this equation. But again, we cannot directly add the E naught values. You have to convert it to delta G. So this getting converted to, I'll call it as E1 and this is E2. Okay, so delta G1 would be minus N is 5 electron. You can see here 5 electrons into F into 1.51 volts. Okay, and you can actually calculate it. So this will be 525. Okay, so this will be 5 into 1 will become 5 plus 2 will become 7.55 F minus 7.55 F is what I have for delta G1. Okay, for delta G2, which would be how many electrons here? 2 electrons. You can see here, this is 2 electrons, right? So minus 2 F into E naught, it is minus 1.23. Now this will become positive. Minus into minus will become plus. So 2 into 123 will become 642.46 F plus. Okay, and delta, I'll calculate delta G for this, which will delta G1 plus delta G2, which we calculated here. I think I did right, delta. Okay, this is delta G2. Okay, so delta G1 plus delta G2 will do, that would be minus 7.55 F plus 2.46 F, right? So if we just do the calculations here, 7.55, 2.46, 46, this will become 15, this will become 4, so 0, 5, 15 minus 6 will become 9, 5.09. Okay, so this will be minus 5.09 F, right? Okay, because overall it is negative, right? Delta G for this reaction is minus 5.09 F. Now this minus 5.09 F, which would be equal to again minus NFE, right? So minus 3 electrons, F will calculate as such, E naught we don't know. Okay, so minus minus F and F, all these gets cancelled. So my E naught is basically 5.09 divided by 3. So approximately that would be 1 time, 2 will go there. So 6 times, and what will come? 29, 1.6, yeah, 1.69 volts to 7 approximately. So approximately I can tell it as 1.7 volts. Okay, very, very simple problem. Nothing exactly like the last problem we did. Actually, there's nothing different except for the numbers. Actually, there's nothing different here. Okay, I hope everybody understood everything. What is the time? 7, 8. Okay, so I think we'll stop with this for today, people. Okay, so that's it. Like the first part of the chapter is done. The 1/2 of the chapter is 50% of chapter is done. Now you have to look at the next 50 chapter. Basically, galvanic cell part is done. Okay, that is all about the galvanic cell part. So from next class, we'll be actually looking into the electrolytic cell part. Okay, and there are Faraday's laws. Again, there are a lot of calculations there. You will be using Ohm's law, right? Again, what you studied in your lower class, Ohm's law, you will use a lot of interesting stuff. Like as much as interesting this was, the second part is also interesting. Okay, so I think we'll stop with this for today. If you don't have any other question, do you have any questions, people? Any questions, whatever you want to ask? Not with respect to this, maybe some other chapter, any doubts you have, you can ask me. Maybe we have 5 more minutes we can spend.
So I have
Any
a
doubts?
doubt here. So.
Yeah, please tell me.
So here we reverse the reaction, right? For one.
Correct, I reverse the reaction. Second reaction.
If it doesn't cancel out with the other one, which is not reversed, then what should we do?
Okay, that's a good, say basically, if it doesn't cancel out means what you're telling, like the H plus, like it will cancel out, like that only they'll give you the question. Say now, say, how do I put it? Like, okay, let me put it like this, right? Or I can tell you like this itself. Like the number of electrons you see here is 3. It is naturally coming. 5 minus 2 is 3. But say, if you don't want any electrons here, okay, if you don't want any electrons here, then what will happen? You have to multiply this equation by 2 and this equation by 5. That you have to do, right? Again, you cannot do that. Say you cannot multiply by 5 here to the directly E naught and directly to this you cannot multiply by 2. That you cannot do. You can do that to delta G.
The
Right,
final delta G we have to multiply with the number.
Not final delta G. This final delta G, this will be for the
In
required
delta
equation.
G1, sir. Delta G1.
Delta G1 and delta G2, whatever you multiply, that has to be included here. Into 5 or into 2, whatever is, has to be included here.
Okay, sir. I understand.
Okay, maybe we'll do one problem like that also next class, right? We will suitably have to multiply by certain thing, and then you have to get the delta G1, delta G2. Okay,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
do maybe that kind of problem also next class. Okay, any other question, people?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Fine, guys. I think we can wind up here 5 minutes before you can go take rest, right? Fine. Thank you so much, people. We'll meet
Thank
again
you,
next
sir.
time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.